Ever wondered why ketchup tastes so good when it finally plops out of the bottle after an agonizing wait? It's more than just the tangy sweetness dancing on your taste buds. It's the art of anticipation. Think about it. The ordinary becomes extraordinary when it's coupled with a dash of suspense. Just like the ketchup bottle, life is full of these little moments of anticipation, waiting for the kettle to boil, the toast to pop, the elevator doors to open. These are not just mundane tasks, but tiny lessons in patience. Now, sometimes this waiting game can be a bit frustrating. We've all been there, haven't we? Shaking that ketchup bottle with a fervor that borders on the ridiculous. But then comes the reward. The moment when the ketchup finally makes its grand appearance. That is the sweetness of delayed gratification. Just like the ketchup, the best things in life require a little shake and a lot of patience. Remember the trust fall game? Let me share a hilarious story from my childhood. Picture the scene. A balmy summer afternoon, a gaggle of kids at a woodland camp, and a trust fall game that was about to become a mud-splattered fiasco. I was about 10 years old at a summer camp deep in the woods. We were playing the trust fall game, where one person falls backward, trusting that the others will catch them. Now, I was a bit of a scrawny lad back then, and my assigned catcher was Big Tommy. Tommy was as wide as he was tall, and he had hands like bear paws, the perfect catch, or so you'd think. So there I was, standing on a wooden stump, heart pounding like a drum, ready to fall into the waiting arms of Big Tommy. I took a deep breath, squeezed my eyes shut, and leaned back, trusting that Tommy would catch me. But just as I started to fall, a bee buzzed past Tommy's ear. Big Tommy, it turns out, was terrified of bees. In a flash, he was off like a shot, leaving me to plummet unceremoniously into a gloriously squelchy mud puddle. As I surfaced, spluttering and mud-caked, the whole camp erupted into laughter. I was mortified, but as I looked around at my laughing friends, I found myself starting to chuckle along. Yes, I was covered in mud, and yes, my trust fall had been a spectacular flop, but in that moment I learned a valuable lesson. Life, much like a trust fall, often requires us to take leaps of faith. Sometimes we land softly in the arms of those we trust. Other times we might find ourselves face first in a mud puddle. But each fall, each leap, each trust placed in the unseen is a step towards growth. It's a testament to our ability to trust, to hope, and to embrace the unknown. So if you ever find yourself hesitating to trust, remember my muddy trust fall and take the leap anyway. Life is a lot like baking a cake, isn't it? You gather all your ingredients, mix them together with care, and slide the mixture into the oven. Then comes the waiting game. You can't see what's happening inside the oven, but you trust that something wonderful is taking shape. It's a bit like waiting for the next chapter in life, isn't it? We're all mixing our ingredients, our hopes, dreams, and efforts, and setting them into the oven of life. We don't always know what's going on inside, but we trust that something good is baking. But let's be honest, we've all been there, haven't we? The cake is taking a bit too long and we get impatient. So we decide to sneak a peek, open the oven door only to have the cake explode in our face. I remember once I had more cake batter on my face than inside the oven. It was a spectacular sight, I assure you. That's the thing about life. It's a delicate process, a dance between doing and waiting. It's about trusting that the heat of life's oven is transforming our ingredients into something delicious. And it's about having the patience to wait, even when we can't see the cake rising. So remember, folks, life's a cake. Trust the process, give it time, and don't open the oven door too soon, or else you might end up with a face full of cake batter. Well, so what's the secret sauce to a fulfilling life? The art of anticipation is like a well-baked sponge cake. It rises slowly, but the result is fluffy and satisfying. The trust fall fiasco, well, let's just say it's like a comedy of errors. You've got to laugh it off and stand up again. The waiting game and trusting the process, that's the crème de la crème, my friends. It's like brewing a perfect cup of tea. It takes time, but the end product is simply delightful. In the end, the real secret sauce is trust and patience. And remember, it's like ketchup. It might take some time to come out of the bottle, but oh boy, it's worth the wait.